Good morning students, I am Radhika from Balayugi Gurukulam, Nuziveedu. Today I am going to explain about a small topic in 10th class maths statistics. So before going to the topic, I would like to say something. Okay, a picture speaks 1,000 words. Especially in the world of statistics, the graphical representation is very useful to help us to interpretation of the data. It is one of the efficient way to understand the given concept easily. So, in already you have learned in the previous classes about the graphical representations, histogram and bar graph, etc. Now in this class, I would like to explain less than type cumulative frequency curve or less than type OSIP. What topic we have to discuss it now today? I am going to explain about less than type cumulative frequency curve or less than type OGIU. Okay, today I am going to discuss about less than type cumulative frequency curve or less than type OSIP. Before going to that topic, I would like to introduce what is cumulative frequency curve. Okay, before going to the topic, I will introduce cumulative frequency curve. A curve that represents the cumulative frequency distribution of a group of data on a graph is called cumulative frequency curve. So, the cumulative frequency curve is also known as OGIU. The OGIU, it is also known as OGIU curve. OGIU is pronounced as OZIU. It is derived from the word OGI. Okay, OGI means this is an elongated S-type curve. So it is in the shape of elongated S-type. So this is the cumulative frequency curve. Once again I will repeat. What is cumulative frequency curve? A curve that represents the cumulative frequency distribution of group data on a graph is called cumulative frequency curve or an OGIU. OGIU can be pronounced as OZIU. OZIU means the word OZIU is derived from the word OGI. OGI means elongated S-type. So this is the cumulative frequency curve graph. It is in the shape of elongated S-type. In this cumulative frequency curve, you can take upper boundaries on the x-axis and their respective cumulative frequencies on the y-axis. Take the convenient scale and we can plot the points like this and draw a smooth freehand curve like this. It is in the shape of an elongated S. This is called cumulative frequency curve. In this cumulative frequency curves, there are two types. There are two types of cumulative frequency curves. There are two types of cumulative frequency curves. The first one is less than type cumulative frequency curve. Less than type cumulative frequency curve, or another name is, yes, very good, less than type OZIU. We can pronounce it as OZIU. And the second one is more than type cumulative frequency curve. More than type cumulative frequency curve or more than type OZIU. In that cumulative frequencies, there are two types of curves here. The first one is less than type cumulative frequency curve or less than type OZIU. And the next one is more than type cumulative frequency curve or more than OZIU. In these two curves, in this class, I am going to explain about less than type cumulative frequency curve or less than type OZIU. What is meant by less than cumulative frequency curve? What is meant by less than OZIU? Now I would like to to a chart. The frequency curve, the curve which represent the upper boundaries on the x-axis and their respective cumulative frequencies on the y-axis, we can draw a smooth curve like this. This type of curves are called less than cumulative frequency curves. Now I would like to take an example for you, and I would like to explain a problem for you. How can we construct the less than cumulative frequency distribution table and graph also. So consider a grouped frequency distribution of a number of tenders. For example, consider the grouped frequency distribution of number of tenders received by a department from the contractors of his civil work in the course of time. So these are the given data, given class intervals 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16, 16 to 20, and the number of tenders 2, 5, 12, 10, 3. So this is the given problem. We can construct a less than cumulative frequency curve to this data. So first of all, before going to construct the graph, first of all we can construct the less than cumulative frequency table. In the first step, we can construct the less than cumulative frequency table. The table is like this. In this table, we have mainly 4 columns. The first one is class intervals, and the second one is number of tenders taken as the frequency, and the third one is upper boundaries, and the fourth one is less than cumulative frequency. In these are the mainly 4 columns in the table. So the first class intervals are given in the problem also, and number of tenders can be taken as the frequencies, and we can write the upper boundaries of the each class intervals. Less than cumulative frequency is mainly dependent upon the upper boundaries of the class interval. So we can find the upper boundaries of each class interval and write down in this column. In the first class interval 0 to 4, the upper boundary is 4. In the second class interval 4 to 8, the upper boundary is 8. In the next third class interval 8 to 12, the upper boundary is 12. After next class interval 12 to 16, the upper boundary is 16. And the last class interval 16 to 20, the upper boundary is 20. In this class interval, this is the lower boundary and this is the upper boundary. In each and every class interval, these are the upper boundaries. So this is the continuous class interval. This is called an exclusive class interval also. So we can write the upper boundaries of each class interval in this column. After that, it is the very important column to find out the cumulative frequency of each class interval. We can find cumulative frequency of each class interval. Which type of cumulative frequency? Less than type cumulative frequency. We can construct the less than cumulative frequency table. So based on the given frequencies. So in less than cumulative frequency, the frequencies can be added from top to bottom. For example, first we have to take the first frequency in the first cumulative frequency column as it is. By adding this cumulative frequency to the next class frequency, we get the second cumulative frequency. So the first frequency is 2. 2 can be written in the cumulative frequency column as it is. So second, we can add these 2 to the second frequency. So it becomes 2 plus 5, we get 7. So this is the second cumulative frequency. Now we can add this second cumulative frequency to the third given frequency. So that is, what is the given third frequency? Is 12. So what is the second cumulative frequency? Is 7. So we can add 7 plus 12, we get 19. After that, we can add this 19 to the next class frequency. So 19 plus 12 plus 7, we got 19. After this 19 plus added to the 10, we get 19 plus 10, we get 29. So added this 29 to the last class interval 3. 29 plus 3, we got 32. So we can find, in this way we can find the less than cumulative frequency by adding all the frequencies from top to bottom. So this is the table to construct the cumulative frequency curve. After completion of the table, we can draw the graphical representation. In the graph, put the upper boundaries on the x-axis. In the graph, put the upper boundaries on the x-axis. What are the upper boundaries here? These are the upper boundaries. Write the upper boundaries on the x-axis and their respective cumulative frequencies on the y-axis. So So these are the respective cumulative frequencies. We can write the cumulative frequencies with the convenient scale on the y-axis. Next, plot the points x comma y using the upper boundary x coordinate and their corresponding cumulative frequency as y coordinate. Plotting the points. What are the points? The upper boundary is says as x coordinate and the less than cumulative frequency is taken as y coordinate. Then the ordered pairs 4, 2 can be plotted on the graph paper like this. In the x coordinate is 4 and the y coordinate is 2. Then plotting the point 4, 2 is here. After that the x coordinate is 8 and the y coordinate is 7. So plotting the points 8, 7 is like this. We are all know about plotting the points in the previous class also. So the next point is 12 on the x coordinate, on the y coordinate is 19. So 12, 19 is the plotting the point here on the graph paper. And the next point is 16 and the cumulative frequency is 29. So the plotting the point taking the x coordinate is 16 and the y coordinate is 19 here. So this is 16, 19 and the point 20, 32. Last x coordinate is 20 and the y coordinate is 32. This is the x coordinate and this is 32 is the y coordinate. Plotting the point x coordinate 20 and y coordinate 32. The ordered pair can be plotted on the graph paper like this. After plotting all these points, we can draw a smooth freehand curve on the graph paper. After plotting the points, we can draw a smooth freehand curve like this. It is in the shape of elongated S type. So this is called less than type cumulative frequency curve or less than type OZU. So have you understood? So join the points by a smooth freehand curve. It's look like an elongated S type. So this is the elongated S type curve. This type of curve is called less than type cumulative frequency curve or less than OZU. It is the most efficient way to understand the data and interpret the result. Less than cumulative frequency curve is very important, very efficient way to understand the data and interpretation of the result. Students, have you understood my problem, student? Okay. So this is the example problem for you. Now I will take another example. For you to construct the less than cumulative frequency table. Students, all of you open your textbook page number 351, exercise 14.4. The following distribution gives the daily income of 50 workers of a factory. Convert the distribution about the less than type cumulative frequency distribution and draw its OZU. Now, I will write the problem on the blackboard. Here, the daily income of the workers is given. Daily income. Number of workers. Daily income and number of workers are given in the problem. Daily income in rupees and number of workers. 250 to 300. 300 to 350. 350 to 400. 400 to 450. 450 to 500. And the respective number of workers are given here. 12, 14, 8, 6, 10. So this is the given data. We can construct the less than type cumulative frequency distribution for this data and also draw its OZU. So first of all, this is the given problem. Before going to the solution, we can prepare directly we can't draw the graphical representation. First of all, we are preparing the constructive table like this. In the table, there are mainly 4 columns. The first one is class intervals and the second one is frequency and the third one is upper boundaries and the fourth one is we can find the less than type cumulative frequency. So we can find a less than cumulative frequency. Less than cumulative frequency. These are the main columns in the solution table. First of all, we can prepare the table. In the table, there are mainly 4 columns, class intervals. Here, the daily income may be taken as the class intervals. Number of workers taken as frequency. We can write the upper boundaries and we can find the less than cumulative frequency. So, what are the class intervals given in the table? Yes, 250 to 300. That is the first class interval. And the next, what is the next class interval? Yes, 300 to 350. What is the next class interval? Yes, 350 to 400. What is the next class interval? Yes, 400 to 450. Then what is the next class interval? That is 450 to 500. So this is the last class interval. So the daily income in rupees can be taken as the class intervals and the number of workers can be taken as the frequency. So first class frequency is 12, second frequency is 14 and third frequency, yes, 8. What is the next frequency? Yes, 6. What is the last frequency? So this is the 10. These are also given in the problem. Now we can find the upper boundaries of the each class interval. In the first class interval, what is the first class interval? 250 to 300. In this class interval, which is the upper boundary? Yes, very good. 300 is the upper boundary. We can write 300 here. In the next class interval, 300 to 350. What is the upper boundary of this class interval? 350. Very good. Next, 350 to 400. What is the upper boundary? Very good. 400 is the upper boundary. In 400 to 450, what is the upper boundary? 450. In 450 to 500, what is the upper boundary? The upper boundary is 500. So we can write upper boundaries like this: 300, 350, 400, 450 and 500. Next we can construct a less than cumulative frequency. In this less than cumulative frequency, you can add all the frequencies from top to bottom like this. First of all, you have to write the first frequency as it is in the first column. After that, adding this first frequency to the next frequency. What is the first frequency? Yes, 12. What is the next frequency? Second class frequency? Yes, very good, 14. So by adding these two numbers, how much we got? Yes, very good, it is 26. So how can we know that 26? The first frequency is 12 and the next frequency is 14. By adding these two frequencies, we get the next cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency means by adding the frequencies to the previous classes. So next we can add these 26 to the next frequency. So 26, what is the next frequency? 8. By adding 26 and 8 we get, how much we get? Yes, 34. So by adding 26 plus 8 we got 34. After, by adding this 34 to the next frequency, how much we got? 34 plus 6? Yes, 40. So by adding 34 to the next frequency, 6 we got 40. So by adding 40 to this frequency 10, how much we got? So 50. 40 plus 10 we get 50. So 40 plus 10. So we got 50. So in this way we can find the less than type cumulative frequencies. So this is the table. First of all, we have to construct the less than cumulative frequency table. After completion of the table, we can draw the graphical representation. In the graphical representation, first of all, we can draw the x-axis and we can draw the vertical line on the y-axis. So this is x-axis and this is y-axis. The origin, the point of intersection of these two x-axis and y-axis is called origin. So we can put the origin. So first of all, before going to the graphical representation, we can draw the x-axis and y-axis. In less than cumulative frequency, we take upper boundaries on the x-axis. Their respective cumulative frequencies on the y-axis. What are the upper boundaries in our table? 300, 350, 400, 450, 500 are the upper boundaries. We can take convenient scale to draw the diagram. So I can take the scale as, on x-axis 1 centimeter is equals to 50 units. On y-axis 1 centimeter is equals to 10 units. I will take the convenient scale. We can take the convenient scale to construct the graphical representation. Now I will take the upper boundaries from 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450. The last upper boundary is 500, so I have to write 500 here. So in this x-axis we can take upper boundaries of each class interval. In the y-axis, the cumulative frequency begins with the least number 12 and end with 50. To the convenient scale, we can take the y-axis as 10, 10 unit. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So in the y-axis, we can take cumulative frequencies. In y-axis we can take cumulative frequency. So by plotting the points, taking as the x coordinate on the x-axis and y coordinate on the y-axis, we can write the points like this. Taking the upper boundary as the x coordinate, taking the cumulative frequency of the table of y coordinate, make the ordered pairs like this. Upper x coordinate here is 300 and the y coordinate is 12. This is one ordered pair. And the next upper boundary is 350 and the next point is 26. And the next upper boundary is 400. The next cumulative frequency is 24. We can make all the ordered pairs like this. 450 is the upper boundary taken as x coordinate and y coordinate is 40. And the next 450, sorry, 450, I will complete the 450 and the last 500 to 50. These are the ordered pairs. 300 to 12, 350 26, 400 to 34, 450 40, 500 to 50. These are the ordered pairs. Upper boundaries can be taken as x coordinate and cumulative less than cumulative frequency can be taken as the y coordinate. We can plot the points on the graph paper. The first point is 312. 300 is taken as x coordinate. 300 is taken as x coordinate. 300 is taken as x coordinate here and the point is 12. 12 is taken as the y coordinate on the y axis. So 300 is here and maybe the y coordinate it is 10, 11, 12. So it is here. So 300 and 12 is nearly here. So this is 300 and this is the 12. So the point it can be, this is 300 comma 12. Next ordered pair 350 on the x coordinate, 26 on y coordinate. So 350 is here and y coordinate is 26. So 350 and the y coordinate 26. 350 is here and 26 is here. So this is the point 350 to 26. And the next point 400 to 34. 400 on the x coordinate, 34 on the y coordinate. 400 is here and the y coordinate 34. 400, 34. 400 is here and 34 is here. This is 400 to 34. And the next one 450 to 40. 450 is the x coordinate and 40 is the y coordinate. So 40 is here, we can choose the scale, the 400 and this is the 40. So this is 450 to 40. And the next one 500 to 50. 500 is the x coordinate and 50 is the y coordinate. So this is the 500 and this is 50. Both are meet together. So this is 500 to 50. These are the points floating like this on the graph paper. Now we can draw a smooth freehand curve like this. We can draw a smooth freehand curve on the graph paper. This curve is elongated S type. This is called less than. This curve is called less than type cumulative frequency curve or less than type OSIU. Have you understood? So this is the graphical representation of less than cumulative frequency curve or less than type OSIU. In this less than type OSIU, we can take upper boundaries on the x-axis and their respective cumulative frequencies on the y-axis by plotting the coordinates of upper boundaries and cumulative frequencies on the graph paper like this. We can plot all the points like this and draw a smooth freehand curve. It is an elongated S type. This is called less than cumulative frequency curve or less than OSIU. So this is most efficient way to understand the concept very easily. So graphical representations are very useful to understand the data and interpretation of the result. Students, I think you have all understood my topic. So let us after completion of the class we have to practice these problems. Okay students, have you understood? Okay, thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you to one and all.